So
Or can we just create one?
I mean, you guys can create one, but I did give a sample here. Hold on. I did attach a sample here. Let me see if I'm missing it somewhere. Yeah, I did attach it in the document that I have uploaded. It's not showing up within when you open it here, but I think you guys can download it, right? No.
Okay.
Whoa, wow. Okay, that's bad. I thought it should be visible. I don't know if you guys had a chance to get it, but I'm posting the link here within the comments, so you can just download it from here. Okay.
Thanks.
But the simple sample file that I've, come on, copy. Okay. So this is a simple sample file. It's just a pipe delimiter with all the fields. And I already gave a header and then a transaction type. So for starters, right, so I did not give a position ID or any other fields, but there are different ways to do it. First, right, I just want to make sure you guys have all your questions answered. Then we can go through maybe some of the process, or I can give you a walkthrough of how the process is, and you guys can build it. Right. So first, let's start with whatever questions you guys have. Whoever's going to go on first. Okay, I don't see anyone. Okay, that's fine. Let's I'm going to do one thing. So based on these requirements, right? So based on these requirements, I have a pipe delimited file as my input file. So I do know how to convert my pipe delimited into an XML, so I can use it in my studio, right? So we have seen that we can use a CS Suite XML converter, and then we can translate it. So that's easy part. So first thing you have to do is go with start here. And then within start here, right, you have to put document retrieval. So you should have a service document retrieval to retrieve the document from an external SFTP or as an integration attachment, right? So you should have document retrieval. And then once you have that, the next step would be using a document iterator within Studio. So what document iterator does is it will make sure that so using document iterator, you can iterate to each document. If you have multiple documents that you have retrieved, so you can iterate through each document. So once you finish your document retrieval, you'll have your CSV to XML converter. Okay, let me go back to Studio. So this is easy than doing it in there. I'll just do it here. Okay. So you'll start with Workday in. Within Workday in, you'll go with the document retrieval, create a retrieval service. Okay. The next, you'll use a route for your document iterator, and you're going to pick a strategy called create doc iterator. Okay, you got doc iterator, and then so what this doc iterator obviously does is it will route through each component, each file, right? And then you put an async. I'm not going to go into each palette. If you guys have questions, just stop me. Okay. I'm not going to write the code as well, but I'll just show you the outline. Okay. So now I have my input file here. So I have to convert it into a CSV XML, right? CSV to XML. So I'm going to use a transformation here, CSV to XML. And within the CSV to XML, I'm getting a message, or actually I'm getting a variable here because my document retrieval gives me a different variable. Input.file.
So do we have any option of changing text to XML, Krishna, or we have to do it text to Excel and then Excel to XML?
Text to XML is also possible. So for that, you have to write the schema, text schema. So there is an option called text schema. So you'll have to create a schema file. So I'm gonna just do it in the file. Simple schema dot. Okay. So within here, right, you can write your schema that translates text into an XML file. So for example, I can write an XST element. Okay. I think it's length. You can use it. Let me see. Like schema. So my test is my other element, but I have to give it saying my unparsed is this, and then I have to segregate this. Let me check for a sample XST that I can use. Yes, quickly stop sharing. I'll my drive. Export relation catalog downloads. I think I found one. Then source editor. So this is one of the XSTs that we have written before. So what it basically is doing is, let me go back to my simple XST. I need the string called yes colon fixed length 5. Okay, so the first 5 characters goes into your unparsed, or you can say record. Now let's say first name, and this is last name. Let's assume we got a fixed width file. So my first 30 characters are my first name, or let's say first 10 characters are my first name. So I have Krishna, which are 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. That's my first name, and then my last name Gupta, which is also 10 character, and then my email ID. Okay, which is around 20 characters. So putting this is my text, and then I'm writing my XST to parse the text. So XST element name you can write your TS fixed length equal to 20, and in this case this is 10. The other case TX fixed length equal to 10. So I have my name along with the first 10 characters are going into my first name. So using this schema, right, your text file will convert into your XML. You can also write align. I think you can remove your namespace somehow. Let me see if I have the syntax for that. Yeah. Somehow you should be able to remove these extra spaces in here. But anyways, this is how you convert your text file into your XML. So once you have it, you already created that here. So you can convert your text to XML, or you can convert your XML to text as well. In this case, we are text to XML, right? But if you have a CSV or a pipe delimiter, right, you use the already delivered CSV to XML, and you say separator equal to default is comma, so you put a pipe. So now you have a CSV to XML converter that converts a pipe delimited files as well. Okay. So then once you have your, did that answer your question? Are you looking for this pipe delimiter?
Yes, Krishna. I was looking for the separator, like where I can directly use the pipe delimited.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's right. So once you convert your CSV into XML, you already know how to initiate your properties, right? So you're gonna use an eval. Oh, sorry, you have your XML. So now you have to look at each record, right? In order to do that, you create a splitter. What I'll typically do here is I always recommend you do your splitter in a different subassembly. So you put a local out, and then you put a local in. You call this process record, or let's call process record, and this will be process record, and then you connect your call process record to your process. Okay, I have so many things open. Okay, now you have your CSV.xml converted file, put in a variable as well. Let's put it process file, something. Copy my variable, and then I use a async mediation. Does anyone want? I mean, if you guys already figured it out, you can actually drive me what I should do here. So I have my variable to message converted, right? So now what palette I should use in order to get my each record out of this XML file? Vivek. Yeah, use a splitter. I got an answer from Vivek. Yeah, Vivek already did it. So, you know, so you have your splitter. So now splitter, you're using your XML strategy or XPath strategy in that case, right? So you have your create XPath splitter, row / root. So where this row / root is defined is basically when you convert your CSV to XML, you give your root name and row name, right? If you don't have it, they always default to root /row /root. So you should be fine there. It should be root /row. Thank you. And now you have your splitter ready. Now you put another which splits each record out within my, and then I'm creating an eval to capture my transaction type. First thing I want to capture is my transaction type, or you can capture everything, right? So let me see, I have someone here already did so much. So I'm going to use drops of parameter. Okay. Parts of 0.export / row and transaction type. Okay. So you got my transaction type now. So we have, based on my requirement, I'm here now. So I'm reached to a place where I have to decide whether I have to do a change job or whether I have to do a contact and change information, or whether I have to do both, right? So there are different ways to do it. You can do anything. I have seen some of our students already use Java Bean to do it. So you can do it anyhow. So one way you can use route. So you can use a route and you can create an ML strategy, and you basically say when my parameter is equal to UPD, what is it, UPDE, the parameter is equal to UPDE, then do my contact change, right? So I'll do it here. So when my transaction per UPDE, then go to alternate, and my alternate goes to here, which will call my change contact information locally. Similar way, I'll add one more ML, and I'll say I'll say when the parameter is cjob, then my subroute basically calls job change, right? So you guys probably have figured out until here, but how do you do both, right? So how do you do both? So in order to do both, you can do one more ML, simply put one more ML validation, and you say when both is there, you have to basically route it again. So I create one more here. I don't have a subroute, so I'm going to add a subroute. Okay, say both. Then you probably want to call one of each localout, right? So you have to call contact change, and then you have to call change job as well. So it's very tough now. You can only connect both to one, and then you can't connect both to the change job again. So you have a conflict here. So you have to do two particular jobs here, but you can only assign one. So typically using route and ML strategy might not fully work here. What I typically prefer is remove this route completely. Don't go with the route. Put call job change, put call contact information, and then connect your async directly to your job change, and connect your job change directly to your call change contact information. And any suggestions how I can do it without using route? So within each palette, right, I do have an option to control it when it's going to run, right? When I can execute a local out, something like that, right? So I have something called execute when. What I'll do is I'll use my parameter here. So I'll say execute when my parameter equal to cjob. So when my parameter is equal to cjob, execute change job, or when my parameter equal to both, then also execute my change job local out, right? In this case, whenever I see a parameter called cjob, or whenever I see a parameter called both, then we'll basically execute my change job first. And then I'll use a similar logic on my this one, and I'll say UPDE. Okay. Change job. This will call my change job. This will call my contact. Okay. Now I'm simply making sure that both of these processors are checked. So I'll basically check, okay, what's my transaction type? Based on my transaction type, I do change job. Or if it is both, I'll do both in an order. First I'll do change job, and then I'll do contact change. So questions here. Anybody can think of any other way that you can do it, you can jump on. Okay. So before performing these actions, right? So before performing change job and contact change, you might want to check some validations. You might want to do whether a position is available or not, first thing, right? So you want to move a person into a position, and you don't have a position ID on the file, right? You don't have a position. Do I have a position ID? I think I have. Yeah, I don't have a position ID on file. So I have seen some of you guys already entered a position ID in the file. It's pretty easy. So you can put a position ID before job title, and you can run your integration. You can get it in the input file. But if you don't have it, right, you might want to create a position first, right? So things like that. So you have to do some validations first. You have to see all the required fields are there or not. So once you identify that, so I need to call a report now to get my position ID. So I'm going to do a local out. Come on. So first thing, I don't have a position. So this is a brand new position. So I'm assuming all records that came in either wants me to move a person along with this position into a new supervisory organization, or create a new position in a new supervisory organization, right? So you have two options to it. So whatever you guys consider, if you have time, you can create position. If you don't have time, just use the move that person along with that position into the new supervisory organization or the new manager. Right? So the manager that I've given within the file, right, there's a manager ID. The manager ID is nothing but the manager ID that the worker is going to work for. So it's the to be manager ID. Okay. So you need what? So I have to create a position, or at least for a change job, I need a supervisory organization first place. So how do I get a supervisory organization? The only thing in this input file that can get me a superorg ID is my manager ID. So I can use my manager ID, query Workday, and get a superorg reference ID. So what I'll do is I'll call a report here. So this report gets me a supervisory organization ID that I needed for manager based on my manager ID. Then I do have it now, so I can directly call change job. And once you go into the change job BP, right, you know how to configure your you know how to configure your API. First, we need to get that API schema entirely. You already seen this. So you go to staffing, you get your change job, API, remove all the unnecessary stuff that you don't need. Whatever stuff you need, you keep it, and then what you do is you create your XSLT. And you paste your web service here. You paste your API call within your XSLT, and you know what is all required and what is all not required. So you'll remove everything that you don't need, and you pass the parameters that you are expecting it to be passed, right? So you perform your change job, and then you do your Workday out SOAP. You call your API. You're basically done. That's it. And then similar way you put your API for your contact change as well. And then you complete your integration. And for error handling, you can already look at the Studio that I have built, you can put the same error handling logic in it. Questions? I know you guys don't have. I don't know if you guys did get time or didn't get time, but doing this will definitely help you. I mean, it's just a Q&A session, guys. You guys have to ask questions. You guys have to ask questions. Go on. Okay. Okay. So I've looked at a couple of studios that people have deployed. I'm just going through the class. Most of the people have started, so that's pretty good. I have seen Vivek completed it already. We talked yesterday. He did a pretty good job. If you want, you can look his studio. It's int 100. You don't mind Vivek, right? Yeah. It's at 100. I've seen a couple of other people doing it, so it's a pretty good start. But if you guys, I mean, I don't want to do it myself. If I do it, I already did one studio, so it's not worth my time. So if you guys have questions, if you guys want me to explain something or do something, we can do it. Otherwise, I want to leave it to you guys. Okay.
I actually started working on that, Krishna, but like once I'm going through, I might get some of the questions, so I can reach out to you in the email, right?
Yeah, email. You have my number. If you have something, we can talk or quickly set up something.
Yeah, I didn't get time to complete that, so I'm stuck with the other things at my work. But yeah. I'll try to finish it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there is no. I don't have any limited time frame, but as early as you can complete, right? You guys have concepts, and then if you take too long, probably want to start over on thinking and everything. That's it.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have, guys. I don't know when we'll have a next session. I don't know if we're gonna have it or not. Depending on how our emails go back and forth. And the way I see it, there's no need for a next session unless.
And Krishna, the documentation which you have shown in the last session that you're gonna upload, I don't see it in the classroom, like the HTML document.
Hold on.
Or might be it's not shared with us.
It's in. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. Did I do it in the wrong class? Right here. I'm gonna put a. Thought I did share it. Anyway.
Thanks, Krishna.
Yep, documentation, putting a link.
Krishna, if you can just find out with everyone if they're able to find, I mean, they're able to locate Dhanush's recordings. I've already uploaded.
And
Yeah.
Shaila, I could see the link which you have given, and can you also move the PDFs which we have the document?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to confirm with Krishna. If you have finished uploading, then I'll upload Dhanush's, because I just don't want to create confusion. So if you have finished uploading, then I'll move all the PDFs also here.
Okay. Yeah. And Shaila, where do I find them actually? Tanush's recording. I don't know.
It was given in the comment section in
Comment section, yes.
in the stream.
Oh,
If you come, yeah. There was a link, yeah.
Yeah, you can just click on the class comments. 3 class. Yeah, yes. There
oh,
only.
okay.
Yes, yeah.
And Shaila, can you also move the activity guides into the document?
Assignments, you're talking about the assignments?
Yes.
Yes. I'll upload everything today. Just wanted to confirm with Krishna once so that now I can upload everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And all my recordings are up, right? I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, just today's recording alone has to be uploaded.
Yeah. And you guys have the link already. And it should be fine. I'm gonna put it on the stream anyways. Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Shaila, you can upload other documents as well. I don't have any other things to upload.
Okay. Fine. I will mention in the bracket, I'll mention as Dhanush. So you will all know that it is for Dhanush only.
Okay. Sure. Awesome. That's all I have, guys. Unless any other questions, I think we can have a good evening and check you on emails.
Okay. Hey, Krishna.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we're trying to create a Salesforce chatter group for the consultants, like all the people who are here. We're right now exploring the possibility of that, just in case if people have questions. So I know your email is there, but in case if you have any questions. So right now,
Sure.
what we will be working on is that placing the consultants in the market. So I don't know if they will have any questions or so we may reach out to you for any support if you have a question, after this. And then also, hopefully with the help of this chatter group, we're looking at the licenses right now. That's what we're having an issue with the Salesforce, because there are 2 types of licenses. We're opening a ticket with Salesforce. So I don't think you want to be bombarded with all the things in the Salesforce chatter group, but I don't know how many questions will be there or what kind of chatter will be there. Time will tell.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought of opening a Slack, kind of ready to set it up, but I thought of doing it, but it's like our class is almost at the end. Then I got an idea, so it's like, okay, never mind.
Right. Yeah. So we're actually we had just for internally, we had a meeting, and then we were thinking, one of the team members suggested that a support group. So I contacted the Salesforce at ERPA. They're looking at the licenses and type of a chatter group to create. So, okay. So just wanted to keep you that, this is just a start. It's not ended, So,
of course.
Yeah. It's the
and
beginning.
I want to be part of anything I can. So.
Right. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's all from me. Yeah, but
Thank you.
we are trying to right now create services from ERPA. We're trying to package it together that and grow Workday practice at ERPA. That's the intention.
Yeah, I've heard it from other folks, but not deep into what type of services. I think that's still on paper.
Well, mostly, what I'm focusing on is anything which is recurring, because we're not Workday partner yet. So obviously, then it's like what's recurring. So the recurring revenue is reporting based on what I've experienced, based on what I during these training classes, what I felt was reporting is the key. Workday integration is the key. I mean, I'm looking at techno-functional kind of things. Because the implementation could be done within 3 months, 6 months, depending on the module they choose. But reporting, integration, those will be the going forward, where people may need techno-functional, and maybe time to time, maybe data load, but that's only one time. So
of course. I mean, HRIS will always be there. I've seen most of the clients use consultants for functional setups as well, like changing business processes. I mean, depending on how client is.
Yeah.
But IT is always required.
Yeah, that's another thing I had listed, that maybe you'll be required when you're loading the data, changing the business process, but it all depends on when you're inside and you are working at a client, and they may use you for other services, even for security groups, creating new security models, right? So,
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for being open to be part of that and helping us. Yeah,
I'm definitely open. I'm very much interested.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Wonderful.
Anything else, guys? Anyone? Well then, thank you for having me as a trainer. It really helped me a lot, thinking what I can support you guys. Just let me know anything you face, any issues, or anything you have any questions related to any module in Workday, or anything you want to struggle, or you have any idea that you want to brainstorm with. Example, I've recently built Workday integrating with Alexa. So any cool stuff you want to do, I'm always open. So we can build something pretty cool also. So that's part of.
So what did you do with Alexa? I'm curious.
So I made it to update. So I'm kind of still working on the business cases. So my prototype basically works something like, so employee information, right? So I have my phone number or any other information in Workday. So I can ask Alexa to query. Basically, I ask Alexa to get my phone number, and it can query Workday and get the employee's work phone number. Or if I'm a employee that I want to submit my hours to Workday, or if I want to do a PT work, I simply ask Alexa to update my work hours today. So we say ask Alexa. I'll say, Alexa, ask Workday to update my work hours with 8 hours today. And then Alexa will call an API to Workday, and it updates worker information.
Nice. So was that an Amazon requirement, or you did that on your own?
I did that on my own. So I'm kind of curious to link that.
I can see that. That's amazing. So you were able to get into Alexa's APIs then?
Yeah. I mean, Alexa, Amazon gave a pretty good skill development tool. So I've used it. I've had to use a little bit of JavaScript to write some so I don't have a web server. So I don't have a server to actually integrate Alexa in Workday, because when Alexa performs, or when you call Alexa, it sends a JSON or whatever the file format you want to an external server where you can access that information to do anything. So I used AWS there. I directly called an AWS Lambda function. That in turn called my Workday. So Workday is pretty simple. For querying, I did a RAS. For us, it's important. So for querying, I did a report as a service. So I have my HTTP call out there with the parameter that I can pass an employee ID or I can pass anything I want depending on what my requirement is. And then it can get back the data to me into that Lambda, and I can send it back to Alexa to voice out. For update, I used mostly in Studio. All I did is when I speak to Alexa to update something, Alexa sends a JSON response to a HTTP HTTP endpoint, which is nothing but my listener service in my Studio. Where's my listener? This is my listener service in Studio. And my Studio automatically triggers based upon an Alexa trigger. So whenever I speak to Alexa to update something, Studio triggers. And whatever Alexa sends a response to Studio, it takes it as a payload. And once I have my payload in my Studio, I can play with it anyhow I want.
So you can do more things than not just Workday. You can tell Alexa to tell your robot to start cleaning.
Well, yeah, that's all done. I actually automated half of my home. My AC works on Google Home. So
that's cool. So regarding the automation, I want to pick your brain.
Sure.
So I don't know if you know at ERPA. So I brought a service called automated testing, and we started with PeopleSoft. We're in the middle of enhancing it to include it to Oracle BI, Oracle HCM Cloud, and Workday is also on my list. It's an automated testing framework. Now I was looking into Workday. Workday has 2 partners already with automated testing, right?
Yeah, I know one called.
I think there's one called WorkSoft. WorkSoft is one, and it's listed on their website too. Kainos, yeah, Kainos is another one.
Yeah, Kainos.
So, but see, it's not a part of Workday, it's a Workday partner. Do you know if people really use Kainos? I mean, they have listed like Netflix was listed, I believe, on using Kainos. Maybe it's
I know. I mean, I've seen some clients looking into it, like trying it out. I've seen USA, so they try to get something. They tried Kainos. Pretty much. I mean, it has its limitations. You can automate your functional stuff. So, for example, you can automate your business process framework, but USA did not use Kainos. They came up with their own Celanese automated testing. So what they did is on the UI. Right. So once you change your, for example, I'm changing my hire employee business process. So I have a predefined test cases that I have to run when my hire employee is going, like approvals, going to different managers' approvals and things like that. Right. So they automated everything. So whenever you change the hire BP, they run the test kits, and it should go through the UI, proxy in as a user, and then approve them and see through the end.
So. Is it like, I know the concept, what they do is a prepackaged, you just have to supply the data and then the scripts are the same. But do you know that there's a big market outside for this, or is it expensive? I don't know how expensive Kainos is. I mean, it all depends on the cost also later on. That people may think that.
I can't speak to the cost and everything, I didn't see, but the requirement is pretty sure there. And one opportunity is always Workday releases. So Workday releases 2 releases per year, and Workday recommends to test all your functionality. And every time client fails at testing, so they always need like 1 month SQA, like 8 resources. My client is currently using like 6 resources, and I've seen other clients using 10 resources for a month.
Right. Well, that's the reason we developed in PeopleSoft too, because PeopleSoft was delivering these images every quarter with the new upgrade. So nobody can test every quarter, and it's going to become a huge task at the end of the year level. They don't force you because you're on your own to upgrade. Workday, of course, there's a standard. It's going to happen twice a year, right? So what we had done was we had done the pre-package of all the services, all the scripts together for every PeopleSoft business function out there. But the market is moving towards cloud and Workday, so we've kind of started thinking in those lines. So as I started doing some research, and I found there's Worksoft, there's Kainos, there are like a couple of others, but I just did not know that is there a market for that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this Kainos already has it. Okay, and you said USA was looking into it.
I mean, yeah, when I was there, they were prototyping. They're basically testing it.
Okay. So Kainos must be selling or subscription based. They must be doing that.
Mhm. And also data masking is another one big aspect. I haven't seen any vendor at least. I've seen a vendor, I don't remember the exact name. They tried to come up with a data masking strategy. I can check on a name and we can chat. But, that's one other aspect because one Workday non-production environments are all having production data. Workday has a data masking tool inbuilt, which will mask your social security number, and it can scramble a little bit of information, but you don't, depending on what you consider a PI information.
Right.
For banks, most of the information is PI.
Yeah.
So they want to do a data masking because once you refresh, in your tenants, right, Sandbox is refreshed every week. So it's fine. You have production level data every week on Sandbox. But your implementation tenants, you have to request and refresh. And once that happens, I'm a developer, so I develop a code and I have like 8 developers with me. So we overlap on each code and probably we take 6 months. After 6 months time, our implementation tenant is too old when we compare to our production setup. So we'll face issues when we deploy our code and things like that. So we require a refresh, but we don't want to lose our in-progress coding.
Mm-hmm.
So when we refresh, we almost lost everything. Unless we back, right? So instead of doing that, if we do data masking.
Okay, data masking. Okay, because
if we do data masking, that's easy.
Because you have only 2 environments. When you're in production, you have either development and production. You don't have another one like in PeopleSoft. We have like 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 environments sometimes at a client side.
Most of the clients have Sandbox and production are by default, and Sandbox Premium is also by default delivered by Workday, but every implementation tenant costs you some amount. Yeah. But if you have an IT team sitting in your company, you will definitely have an implementation. As I've seen clients who don't have IT team, only HRIS takes care of it. So in that case, right, if I build something, I have to build it in Sandbox, and it refreshes in a weekly basis. So if I'm in the middle of a studio or in the middle of an integration, I move it as is into production on Friday afternoon, come back on Monday, work on my Sandbox.
Okay. So most of the companies don't have IT team. They have HRIS team.
Yeah, small companies. When you go bigger companies, like whoever is using PeopleSoft should have an IT or someone like that, right?
Yeah, they do.
So they'll have an implementation tenant, definitely.
So is there a demand for security administrators too? Or mostly HRIS people do that?
I've seen mostly HRIS people do that.
Right. Because I was looking on the Indeed.com today, just for market research, and I saw HRIS/security administrators. One of the company here, Solero, that's what they were looking at. I did not find a big need just for security.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's almost part of your HRIS team.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So if there was a program like that which will mask it, but then there's no, in Workday, it's all, you can't design your own custom process, right? Can you? Integrations are one thing, but you can't scramble the data because it is right. There's no process you can write. Either you can write a report or integrations. You can't go into every business process and scramble the data. Right. Even if you came up with the strategy.
Yeah. Before I came in, moved into a different client, so they were prototyping it. But what they're doing is they built a studio typically to do this data scrambling. So, I mean, most of the data scrambling requirements come from security. So they don't want non-employees or contractors to look at production data, kind of a thing, right? So what they did is they get all your data from a different environment into Studio. And then they use the data, or I don't know how they are using scrambling things, probably random generation of phone numbers or random generation of addresses, and then put it in your implementation tenants.
So in PeopleSoft Campus Solutions, by out of the box, they deliver, because it's student data, they deliver data masking. It's basically they show asterisk, 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 and it depends on how it's all configurable.
Yeah.
And you can mask Social Security fully, or you can mask Social Security to show only the last 4 digits. And it's out of the box feature. And the coding is already written for everybody. And only Campus